Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video, we're going to be reviewing the Stranda Cheater. Is it really cheating on something this big? This board features Stranda's standard camber with tip and tail rocker. Basically, it's cam rocker. So you got rocker in the nose, rocker in the tail, camber underfoot. That camber is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive, while that rocker in the nose and the tail is going to give you ease of entry in and out of turns, as well as more optimal powder float. This board's available in 170, 170 wide, and 177. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was a mix of blue and gray skies. You had snow falling at times, average to slightly cooler temps, powder that was a little firmer, a little hot up on the top of the mountain, and good. And then if you got to the mid-mountain, it was a little crusty and choppy underneath. Basically, you kind of had to pick and choose where you were going to go with this thing. Then I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. Okay, so if we look at the shape of this board, it's clearly going to be directional. And for what it is, it's stiff. So you have a slightly softer nose that progressively stiffens back up to the tail, with the tail obviously being the stiffest section of the board. And torsionally, there is a lot of rigidity to this board, so it takes a lot to actually twist it. This is nice because this carries over to the stability of the board. With the shape, the camber profile, the width, and just the core profiling and the flex, you get a very smooth, stable ride. This thing will cut through chop and chunder with ease, and you're not feeling anything resonate back up underfoot. This is a board for hauling ass and not worrying about what you hit. You have zero cares in the world, whether you're hard carving, doing a straight line, or smashing crusty pow. This board wants to be on the ground. Just gonna start with that, but what you need to know is it's going to take you a few laps to figure out how to engage the camber profile and roll back on the tail to get it to pop. Speed and being flat based really do help you with this, and what you put in, you're actually going to get a little bit less out of it. This is a deck that you're working hard to get it up in the air. Like I said, it wants to stay on the ground. Anything that you're doing with it just takes a ton more effort. All right, have you clicked like? Have you subscribed? Have you clicked the bell to get those notifications? That way you won't miss any of the videos we got coming out for you. Good, because if you haven't, you're a heathen sinner. Yeah, no, just no. Like, look at this thing. Look at what its purpose is for. You're not buttering with it. You're not doing carved butters with it. You just, no. Just, nope, not doing it. Carry on. So this is what this board is supposed to be about, and to an extent, I kind of agree with that statement, but it's a board that you've got to understand the subtle nuances of. So it engages outside the front foot. You really have to keep your weight more forward to get this to dig in. And when you do, it drives from the center of the board back through the tail. So you're kind of just throwing your weight a little more forward to engage it, and then to really drive it, you're pushing through that camber and you're putting a ton of work into it. Short, tight, quick carves, it's not the most nimble edge to edge. There's just not enough torsional flex for you to really steer it. So you've got to get up to speed and really crank it to get it to engage. Medium mellow carves are where it shines. When you're just swooping from one side of the run back to the other, you're sitting on that edge, you feel locked in, and you just need that space. So you want to make sure there's no one around. You just want to be like, hey, cool, I'm swooping from the left side over to the right side back over to the left. It's when you go to really deep, hard, aggressive carve with this thing that you're just sort of like, okay, I'm trying. You're putting a lot of work into it, and you're not getting a lot of return. They kind of just turn into more medium mellow carves, even if they start a little bit more aggressive. It's kind of like this thing has some limitations to it. It's not a dig on the board per se. It's just like, I've ridden better big carving boards than this thing. It does great at medium mellow carves, and if you're just looking to go swoop from one side of the run back to the other, it's great. For those short, tight, quick carves, because of the lack of torsional flex, that's a workout. And the deep hard ones, yeah, you can lay a trench with it, but why would I want to use something as a tool to do that takes more effort? And that's what it is. At the end of the day, it turns and it's a snowboard, but I've ridden better. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? Someone that wants a big board for doing big, wide, long, drawn out carves or smashing wide open pow bowls. Like what we're doing over here and want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This board's a little too specialized for my needs and how I ride. I realize that. It's not for me. In Colorado, we ride a lot of tight trees. This thing is a chore in tight trees. It's not worth it. Wide open pow? Hell yeah. Cool. It's awesome. You got wide open runs with no one on it? Sure, go swoop some carves. But at the end of the day, this just felt kind of mediocre compared to other Strandas. And I'm probably gonna forget that this thing even exists. Comparable boards. The Korua Pintonic, the Jones Freecarver 9000, the Nidecker Smoke. Binding recommendations: the Bataleon Astro Full Wrap, the Ride A10, the Union Atlas Pro. This has been my review of the Stranda Cheater. If you're looking for something else, why don't you check out one of the reviews for one of the other comparable boards.